Welcome to London. Please get in line and have your passport in hand and go.
Good. Now, then some points with the movement. You have to find them.
We worked with, three different groups running workshops for children, for young people, and for adults, and trying to explore the theme of community spirit. To get together. How do we feel living in a society where people come from different places and have different ways of behaving, different ways of dressing, different ways of, of relating to each other, and how can you deal with this difference? And I think that's the most important thing about this project. Like, how can you deal with difference, and how can you celebrate this difference most of all? Our idea is like to get a small group of young people and inspire them to do things in their community.
What are you doing?
I'm bathing the baby.
I have been working with the young people who I have been training to become workshop facilitators, giving them that kind of skill set to be able to go and work independently and do their own projects, and they've really taken to it straight away and really just got it. It's been really nice to see them sort of understand it first time that we're doing it.
My hands are high, my feet are low, and this is how I bungalow. And then we will do that. Her hands are high, her feet are low, and this is how she bungalows.
We want to give people experience, encounters with music, encounters with physicality, with dance. What art gives this sense for people that they can do things, they can create, they are important,
Look, I bought some fabrics. I bought some masks as well. Look what I did to work with, if you want to work with community, the notion of identity.
So one of my favourite workshops that's really stuck with me was when Judith's friend came and we did identity. So she came with papers, crayons, cloth, like so many different things, and she was just like, what identifies you? And at first when I heard this, I was just nervous straight away. I was thinking, oh my God, what does identify me? And it was really an eye-opener for myself. Like, I actually found out so much more about my own self when I did the workshop, because I don't think we really take the time to think about ourselves and who we are.
It's very hard to talk about emotions, isn't it? It's very hard to talk about yourself. It's something really to pay attention, to discover, in our practice, how we can use arts to bring out these kind of things that are hidden there, and for whatever reason the people cannot easily access.
For me, I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to show my identity? So then what I did was I just created a picture and I drew a flag from the country that I'm from, which is St. Lucia. Some things I was a bit nervous to write about, like I put a puzzle piece to show that I'm still looking for my place where I belong, kind of. I was thinking, I wonder what everyone's going to think about that. They might think, it's a bit weird or something. But then it's like when everyone else shared their identities, like we all had that common thing where we all feel a part of something, but also we're still not alone, but we all have our own little things where we feel different. And I think that was really nice to know that you're not alone in feeling different sometimes, that we are all like that.
1, 2, 3.
Another great thing about this type of project is like to collaborate with different artists. I think it's great, for example, to bring Goya, someone like Goya who works specifically with capoeira, but exploring capoeira toward the theme of community building.
And what we are going to do today is do a little bit of capoeira. We are going to learn some about the instruments. We are going to learn how to play some of the The most important thing that I try to work with is how capoeira can be used to bring people together. There is a philosophy behind why you do it. You can have something to share with other people. I think for me this is what capoeira is about, is the way that I can share things with other people. Capoeira is something that is impossible to play by yourself. You always need at least someone else. And you have to create something with the other people, if not, there is no capoeira. Everyone is doing something that is different from the other people, but what I do comes together with what you do, and this becomes something else. And this is something that is just possible because we are together. We are building something together.
What I took most out of it is being able to get everybody together who may not know each other, but getting them in a position where we're all equal. You had that individual interaction with each other, but also as a group. So you really got to know everybody, and I just think that it's important for any group that you work with, that you have to know the people you're around, you have to be comfortable with them, but also have fun. Because that's the best way to learn, that's the best way to do anything, is by having fun and enjoying it.
Zip, 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 boy. Zap, zap, zip, boy. Zip, 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 boing. Zip, zip, zap. Zap goes across the room. Zip, 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 zap, zip, zap, zap, boing. Who knows?
To be a participant and to be a facilitator, in many ways, it's very similar, and also is a requirement, because if you don't feel as a participant, if you don't feel that you're learning as well as the participants are, it becomes a kind of, unfair kind of game. You're all learning, we're all dealing with our emotional questions.
Yeah. Can we just try and react to when the person goes forward and shows their thing? We look at them, we react.
Yeah.
And then when they kind of leave, we move. Can we just try that so we get some movement going on?
What do you mean by
behind?
movement? Moving forward or moving in a different
around.
position?
Move into another space.
Another
Yeah.
This idea of sense of belonging, it's very important. It's the beginning of anything, that can be positive in a community to happen. If you don't feel part of the community, you're not going to move. You're going to lock yourself, you're going to, isolate yourself.
Where do you belong to?
I belong to cold, starry nights and glittering snow and hot chocolate and laughter.
I belong to dance. I belong to my friends.
I belong to the music playing loud.
I belong to the colour emerald green.
I belong to a place where everybody belongs to.
I belong here.
I belong to Earth, Birmingham,
The stage, freedom and the world.
The smell of baking bread.
and my daughter. Noisy dinners.
Jazz.
I belong to music.
I belong to the sea and birches.
And women.
I belong to London, my bike and my secondary school.
I belong to the air. I belong to freedom.
I belong to God.
I belong to London.
My bike.
It's wilderness, wilderness.
I belong to Brazil.
Happiness and St. Lucia.
And to feminism.
And lots of fire in all its states and forms.
And I belong to Africa.
I belong to
London.
London. London.
London.
London.
We did this voice warm-up with Madi about swallowing something, making this noise that something was coming out, and do a little bit of, and things like that. And suddenly we're in a situation that you want to create a scene for like a voodoo with the home officer, and we thought, well, so why don't you use the exercise to make like a voodoo scene? So then we put go in the middle, put a little bit of movement, but then basically the voodoo scene is warm-up exercise. And it didn't come, for anything that said, okay, now let's do, everybody sits down. No, it was something that was improvised, was spontaneous, and now we have poetry, we have movement, and everything is a collage. The greatest challenge is like, how can you engage people? How can you get more people to understand they can do wonderful things for their community, in their community, for their community? And I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, you have to give and receive at the same time.
Community, it's about celebration. It's a group of people who are able to celebrate together, truly, from their heart, celebrate together, celebrate their difference, dance together, hug each other, be human.
Community means togetherness and unity and supporting each other.
Fraud. Fraud. Rayback. 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 Rayback.
Community is working together and appreciating what you've got. That's what I think community is, being nice.
Everybody, they had something that is the same, and that's what kind of brings them together and go into the song, and then they kind of go, oh my God, that's so lovely, that's so I like that. What's going to be?
What is community?
I think there are two words that I like when I think about community. One is equality, and the other one is respect.
Community to me means giving to others without expecting return and giving and receiving mutually.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Community is where you can do fun stuff and be honest with everyone.
It's coming! It's coming for you! Feel it! Take it! Take it! Take it! Like, take it!
Community means a whole crowd of people brought together by one.
For me, community means everybody you know and you get to know each other in where you live, and you help each other when there's a struggle.
Community is where people live in the area and you be like neighbourly and know them and like be friends and help out with each other.
So we are gonna go and everybody go to.
Everyone on that side does that.
Community is when you're helping people that are unfortunate like us and helping the whole world.
Community is, for me, when everybody gets together and shares their countries and where people and friends just share together.
You said